Hey, what's up, guys? It's me again. Today I'm gonna speak about a very sensitive topic to me. The loss of somebody very special. That was very special in my life and continues to be, as much as I want to deny it. Um, I'm gonna start off by saying, it's been a while since I talked to this a couple of people, and every time I talk about it, as hard as it sounds, um, can't help but come it's a bit of tears, so if you see me choking up, apologize for that. But just want to talk about my experience with loss. To me, losing someone or something that you love or care deeply about is very painful. You may experience all kinds of difficult emotions, and it may feel like the pain and the sadness you're experiencing will never let up and will eat you up. These are normal reactions to loss. But while there is no right or wrong way to grieve, there are healthy ways to cope with the pain that in time can renew you and permit you to move on in some cases. Until you move on, you won't be able to love anybody or even yourself. I lost four people, all who took a piece of me with them when they passed. I'll start off with my grandmother that passed away 7 years ago. Um, we never used to get along that much, but we loved each other, and it was a special relationship because I don't know, it was something about something about me that she like just wanted to pounce on, like since I was my mother's son, and anybody that's associated with my mother, she used to care about. So we had that bond. We could always talk to each other, and she could always come to me and argue and vent, and I would listen. And I miss that when I wake up in the morning, like her arguing with me and fighting with me. But I know that cancer is a bitch, and eventually we're gonna find a way to beat it and come over it. The second is my friend Wilson. He passed away 7 years ago, 4th of July, and we never like really hung out like that. But it's not how long you know a person; it's the moments that you spend with them, and I can honestly say that Wilson was a happy person. Wilson was a happy person, and a person that always loved life, and that ultimately, in the pursuit of love, of enhancing his life and being healthier, he lost his life in a battle with obesity. Um, Third, I would like to talk about my aunt, Tia Rubelin, because this happened a year ago. So to me, it's kind of fresh and it still hurts me. And this wasn't even a thing of that God needed her. It was just some asshole that decided that he chose money over his ethics and his morals and the oath that he made to God and to the medical world to always abide and care about the patients that he has under his care. And he saw that my aunt was bleeding from her injury and didn't care. He just finished his job and sent her home. And literally the day before my birthday, or the day after my birthday, I'm sorry, she passed away as a result of four blood clots going up to her brain and killing her. And I wasn't even there. I was just told. But when you see the pain that my cousins and my I consider them my siblings because we grew up together. Maleni, More, and Diana, and all sisters, her father, her friends. You just see that pain and you wish nothing but pain and suffering for that person. But in time, I've learned that the only person that can truly bring justice to anybody is God. And I know I'm not the greatest person in the world, but I do value life, and I care about everybody that I come in contact with. And I might be called intense, and people might tell me you need to stop acting that way, but that's just how I am. That's how I was built. It's how God wanted me to be in a world where there's nothing but vulgarity and lately just pure violence, like no remorse, no regard for human life. It just sucks that a great woman had to pass away for a country to realize that there's a problem in the Dominican Republic when it comes to surgeries. But that's a death that I'm still having, that I've it's taken me a while, but little by little I'm coping, and I'm pulling through. Last but not least, I'd like to talk about Steph. I won't say her name, full name for my purposes, but her name was Steph. She was a person that initially I was set up with by my mom, and at first I didn't see the method of my mother's madness, but she chose her because I don't know, in Dominican culture, when you're little, living in DR, like I started off, they chose to pick girls to marry guys. As a result, that's family favors. And sometimes when they introduced us, we were mad indifferent to each other, and I felt intrigued because at that time, and I was like, why is this girl not paying me no mind, and why is she being mad indifferent towards me? And when I got the chance to finally interact with her and hang out with her and speak to her, and I made her laugh, I don't know, but something in me just said I want to keep doing that. And little by little, I just gained her attention, and once I had her attention, I made sure not to let it go to waste. I wanted to see her nothing but happy every day that I was around her, and every day she was smiling. And I eventually gave myself a chance to like get to know this girl, and she gave her chance to get to know me, and we went from there. Like I said, I was living in DR when I met her, and I was in seventh grade. And I remember when I had my turtle haircut, and she always used to play with it and pull on it. And for some weird reason, that was her way of telling me that she liked me, according to her, because back then, pulling somebody's hair was cool, I guess. And for some reason, being in the seventh grade and being young, at an early age, I learned that the more things you do for a girl, the more that girl is gonna appreciate those things. Well, at least they did back then. I always made her breakfast. So I remember one day I made a sandwich. I remember with it's some bread called pan de agua. The Dominicans know what I'm talking about. and I put cheese in it. I put it in the toaster, and I burned the bread. And I took it to her, and I took her a glass of Tampico. That juice was the bomb when I was little, and it still is. At some point, I wasn't very good at squeezing oranges, so you guys gonna have to forgive me on that. But she liked those type of things, the little details, the romanticism that I showed her, and I always like to ask her how her day was doing, how she was doing, if she had anything to talk about. Because as much as I cared about myself, I did for her as well. And one night changed for me. One night changed it all. Sometimes it's best to tell people you miss them, because you never know when it could all end. For me, it ended on April night, in an April night. When you receive the worst news a human could receive. What happened was, Steph had asked me to go to a party with her in the campo, and I was mad tired. I got home from school like at 5:30, and I started doing my homework. I always used to do my homework early and stuff. And I told her I didn't feel like going out. I was gonna stay home sleeping, but as she was saying bye, something felt weird to me because usually when we hug, we just hugged and kissed, and that was it. But that hug felt like it lasted for lasted long for me. It felt weird because it lasted long. Like I said again, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling. Lasted longer than usual. I didn't pay no mind, and I went to bed. The next morning, her brother walks into my aunt's house and tells me that Steph and some of her friends got into an accident coming back from the party because her friend was or whether they fucking love the small Hondas or coupes, and they was drag racing, and a freaking truck, a patana was coming, and so basically he was trying to swerve the other car, go in front of the car, and they basically drove off like the mini road. It wasn't like that far of a drop, but I guess for the speed that they were going, it was significant. And I was like, nah, stop. Well, going to the hospital, you never think something happens. You always think, you think positive. Like, okay, everything's fine. She's gonna be fine. She's strong. I don't have any reason to doubt that she's gonna be okay. When I got to the hospital, I saw her friends getting treated, and her nowhere to be found. I walked into the back, and they don't want to let me in. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why you're not letting me in? Like, my girl's back there. I was talking Spanish, but I'm just going off the top. My girl's in there, and they told me I couldn't pass. But I told myself I ain't moving from this fucking door until I fucking see it. And in my wildest dreams, I imagined that I would cry so much. And in DR, they don't really give a shit about. At least this is what I think. They don't really give a shit about dead bodies. They just had her laying on the. They just had her laying on the table, and her face was all scraped, and her hand was all scraped, and she was just lying there, lifeless. And it was between me but mainly I did it, and they gave me a bucket of water and shit, like to prepare her, cause over there you gotta prepare people. So I prepared her, and as I was cleaning her and stuff, I was just imagining, why, like, blaming myself, like, why I didn't go, why I wasn't there. And cleaning her, I was crying the entire time because I was cleaning her wounds, but that wasn't gonna bring her back. This wasn't Snow White, and you could just kiss her up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she was gonna be all good and come back. After her burial and everything, I came back to New York, and I went through junior high school, Then to 2 years of junior high school. I'm sorry, and I graduated. But through those years, I can always overcome any of comprehend anything that happened. So I decided I wanted psychological help secretly, and I learned to deal with loss. We have to embrace the fact the person is no longer with us, and they will always watch out for us. And that's why I had to program my head and my heart to think and believe always that in spirit she was always going to be there for me and for whoever she cared about. And I questioned myself and I questioned God of why He could be so cruel to me. And sitting there in anger, I realized that God needs His angels more than He needed His angel more than I did. And I finally realized that all I could do is move on and live my life until God granted me access to His kingdom and have the ability to see her again and my other loved ones. Now I have a job, a car, and all those things that a man could want to live a happy and stable life. And it's all thanks to the fact that I could finally say I love you, but I have to let you go. Because as long as I keep that anger inside of me and the guilt, I won't be able to move on. And she's one of the proponents that I continue to believe that I will never change because I'm just like that. She took my, I'm not gonna lie, she took my manhood. She made me a man, and I made her mine for that one, for those moments. And just because in today's society nobody values love, romanticism, and the way that some men treat women, I'm not changing for anybody. I'm gonna be me, because that's what she wanted and that's what I want. Because in the end, if you can't appreciate me caring about you and thinking about you and wanting nothing but the best for you, then honestly, go ahead, find what you're looking for. But all I know is that I know I have a lot of people watching over me, and that the one that it happened to me. And in the end, what we must do when experiencing loss is realizing that we had that person and we cherished that person and we showed them all our love and affection. And now it's God's turn to show her how much He cares about her. Again, I know this video is kind of long, and I want to thank those who watch and who subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the support coming from my first video. I don't know if I might draw the same support, but I feel that it's better to talk about things than to keep them bottom up inside. I hope you guys have a good evening, a good weekend. Be safe out there. Don't drink and drive. And as much as you have a fast car, don't drive fast on the roads, because in the end, we gotta think about those who care about us, and we don't want to do nothing stupid. My name is Robert, and I'm out.